Okay, today I'm going to show you how to replace the skins on these boat seats for my Nitro 640LX bass boat. These happen to be two-piece seats. I've already got one just about done, and now that I've actually figured this out, I'm going to show you guys how to do this. I imagine these seats are similar across bass boats. So there's the backing, and there's the bottom part of the seat, which is on a hinge, and there's a compartment underneath. So these are two pieces, and what I did was buy the skins from a Nitro bass boat dealer. They ordered it from the factory, so you just need to be able to give your boat, I think, serial number and such, but they'll tell you. So they send you the skins and some edging, and so I'm going to show you how to do that. So first thing I want to do is take the seat back off, and we'll go from there. Thanks. Okay, the first thing you need to do to take the seat back is to take the three screws out to hold it against the fiberglass. So in order to get to the screws, in my case, you got to take this compartment out, open this up, and you got to reach underneath here and take the three screws off. Again, these three screws hold this seat to the fiberglass. All you gotta do is take those three out, and then you can work on the seat. So we'll do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I take it off. Okay, so I've taken the seat back off, and as you can see, there's the three bolts that go through the fiberglass, and then as you can see, there's three washers, three locking washers, and then three nuts that hold that on in the backside, inside that compartment. So right now we're going to work on taking the staples out of the back of this seat in order to get the vinyl off. Okay, the next thing you need to do is take the staples off this seat. So there's staples around this area here. You just need to get a small flathead screwdriver and pull all these out. And then there's this hard particle board, or what kind of board this is. But this thing goes all the way up here and around and down, and I'll show you after we get the staples out how you get the vinyl off that backing. So to take the staples off, pretty much just take a flathead screwdriver, stick it under there, and pop it up, and just pop each one up one at a time until you go all the way around and take these off. Pretty simple. Okay, we have the seat staples off the seat. So as you can see, the leather is loose, except for one here. So as I said, this board goes all the way around here, so the first question in your mind is, how do you get this thing off, because it looks like it won't come off. So the first thing you want to do is peel this down here, and what you're going to find is foam underneath with plastic over it, and the plastic simply is to try to keep the foam from getting wet. So you may find it's ripped, or you may rip it as you're pulling it off, but you should be able to fix that. The other thing you're going to find is, as you try to pull this off, it's going to get more challenging because this seat part has a leather piece that's stapled to this board inside, and surprisingly enough, you can get this thing off, and essentially what we want to do is turn it inside out so that we can get to the staples on the other side once we've taken the outside off. So let me do that. So I'm going to peel this down, and I'm going to stretch this up and over the board so that we can turn it inside out and get to the other pieces on the inside that are stapled. So I'll get that done, and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so I want to show you at least part of the way. So here's the backing. So we folded the lower part of the leather or the vinyl over, and what we're doing is we're trying to roll it up. As you can see, this part inside is stapled to hold this this seat onto that board. So the best thing to do that I found is, as you're pulling this off, is to roll it inside out so that you can get as much of this up this way as possible, so that when you go to try to pull this up and over, you're closer to the top that way. So let me do that. I'll get it off and I'll show you what it looks like inside out. Again, I wanted to show you some of the progress. So what I've done is pulled back on both of this and got this almost to the point where I can pull it over the top. And so just basically, you can see this foam under here, and you just want to kind of get your fingers underneath this leather and roll and pull and use the top of the board and pull against it, and you'll be able to pull it right over the top. So we'll finish that up, and again, I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so we've got the vinyl cover off, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like on the inside. It's also almost impossible not to rip some of this plastic off as you're peeling this vinyl off. So on the other seat, I just covered it with saran wrap or some other plastic, and you can just tape it before you put the new cover on. This piece comes off, so that's one piece. And basically what you have is the other part of the seat, and you can see that it has its own vinyl that's stapled to the board. So this is the next thing that has to come off. And what I would do is I would draw a line along this vinyl so you know where it went, so that when you put the new seat on, you have a real good sense of alignment for the new seating. Otherwise your seat will be off base. The other thing too is when you put the new seat on, you've got to be careful on how you staple it down. If you staple it too tight, or you have wrinkles along the edges here, then there'll be some wrinkles on this outside part around that seat. So just be careful of that. Okay, let me take this off and we'll go to the new covering. Okay, so I have the old seat cover off, and what you have left is, here's the back, there's that inside cushion. So what we want to do is we take our new cover and we want to line up where the back is, this inside design, with that foam. And what we want to do is turn this inside out, because we've got to staple down that part of the seat. So this blue part goes over there, and as you can see, there's a piece of leather that comes down, and we've got to staple this around this piece of foam on the inside. And then the other big piece of foam goes around here, and then we've got to slip the cover over the top of this backboard. So again, another point is, what I noticed is when I took this off, this blue cover came over to the back, and if you take this blue and you measure it, and about halfway is where this screw is. This screw is about halfway across this backing. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just staple that right there, so it's in place. Now the staples I'm using are stainless steel staples with a normal staple gun. I got these from Lowe's. They're T50s. They're 3/8 inch from Arrow. I think the Lowe's part number is 242245, and the model is the 506 SS1s. They're a little longer and a little thicker than the originals, but they work fine. So that said, what I'm going to do again, I'm going to take this leather on the inside cushion, and I'm going to bring this down, and I am going to follow my original line that I marked out, and I'm going to staple it to the backboard and get that done. So let me do that, and I'll show you when I'm done with that. Okay, so I have the new cover stapled, at least the inside, so this back part of the seat here, as you can see, as I described, we've stapled that all around. So then what we need to do now, as you can see this is turned inside out, is we're going to take this cushion, put this back here, and then pull the vinyl over the top of this. I just need to fix some of these rips before I do that, so let me do that, and I'll show you how to finish. Okay, so we have this seat partly worked. When you start to put the vinyl over the outside foam, remove that single staple that you put here that held this blue piece down, because you're going to need that extra fabric to be able to stretch it this way. And what you want to do is stretch your vinyl over this side and kind of work your way up and pull the vinyl over the backing until you get all the way around this side, and then you can pull this down and cover the whole thing. So I'll finish that, and then we'll talk about how to get rid of the wrinkles. Okay, once you have the cover on the backing, you'll notice you'll have some wrinkles here along the edges, and you can work most of those out. I couldn't make it perfect, but what I found to help is to stand the seat on end, get above it, grab the vinyl with both hands and stretch it down this way, flip your seat on the side, grab the vinyl here, stretch it this way, stretch the vinyl this way. I actually put the staple back in here as close to the screw as I could. So you want to stretch this here, until you've worked out some of that, and then you're just going to have to start stapling some of these in place and work your way around until you're satisfied. You might have to remove some staples to fix it, but for a replacement, that's pretty close as it is. So I'm just going to staple this up, and we'll see where we end up. Okay, so here's our finished product. This is the seat backing. So as you can see, I got rid of some of the wrinkles. I mean, it's not perfect, but only I think you're going to notice, and none of your friends are really going to notice. So on the back, that's the final look, with some of the plastic sticking out, but basically we stapled around this seam here. And again, these 3 screws will go against the fiberglass, and we'll screw them in from inside the compartment. Alright, so that's the seat backing. The next thing we're going to do is the seat itself, and I'll show you that in a minute.